Welcome to Geeks and Jocks, a podcast that focuses on video games, film, television, and sports. And now, for the person who is in charge of this podcast, here is Ryan Sullivan.
Hi, and welcome back to Geeks and Jocks, and I am very happy for this because I've made it to episode 10. Even though this podcast doesn't get any views, I am still pretty happy to be making it to at least 10 episodes, and I figured I'd want to talk about, why I wanted to do this podcast in the first place, so I'll talk about it now. The reason why I wanted to do Geeks and Jocks is because it was in my mind for a while about, hey, why not do a podcast of my own? It can't be too hard. In the summer, I bought a microphone and thought, okay, maybe I could use this for something, And working at my baseball job, there were some people talking about, it's pretty easy once, and you'll get the hang of it and all that. And it didn't really come into true form until October when I thought about quitting my restaurant job just because of two morons that worked there who couldn't get along and all that, and it was just causing a lot of stress for everybody. And during that week of thinking that I was going to be gone, I decided to just record an episode, and yeah, I'm still working at that job, so we've gotten things a lot better now. So, um, I basically did 6 or 7 episodes with a microphone that was okay, but you could tell it got a lot of you could hear other things beyond just the voice of mine. And I bought later a what you're listening to right now is a Logitech USB headset, and it works very well. It's very clean. I can hear it without hearing anything else. Noise canceling headset, really, too. It's real nice. And so far, the last few episodes have been through this, including this one and future episodes. So expect to hear more of this kind of voice instead of the interference thing. So with that, that was why I wanted to create a podcast in the first place. And so to the main point of this episode, and that is creating YouTube accounts. So over the past 9 years, I have had only two YouTube accounts. I had one for a few years, and I got rid of it, and I'll explain later. And the one that I'm using right now, over the past 6 plus years, going on 7, come this upcoming December. So yeah, I think it was the reason why I wanted to do a YouTube channel. Was definitely because of all these gaming channels that were doing all these older games and stuff like that. And around 2010, I believe, I did my created my first YouTube channel, and I left it dormant for a while, and it wasn't until the summer of 2011 that I finally got some videos going, and it wasn't really much. It was just 5 videos of Sonic Spinball on the Sega Genesis, and it was just the levels, and maybe if yeah, it was the levels, and I think I cut the second no no the last level to 2 parts, which I think it was like it took forever to get through that level. And the way I had it was I had my cell phone, my first ever cell phone, and I had to get it set up in a way where it wouldn't fall, and I could get a lot of the screen to show off the game, and it worked effectively for the most part. Though I think I needed to get the footage onto my phone to my laptop in order to even get the footage in and get rid of the memory that took up from having those videos and whatnot. So yeah, not a great process. And so I mean those videos were there, and then in around Christmas, I got a video camera, which is a JVC Everio. It allows for 20 times zoom, dual memory, which I have two cards in there. One with 16 gigabytes, which I've had for since Christmas 2011, and in the last couple of years, a 32 gigabyte card. So yeah, pretty nice. Very nice to have. It's a nice camera. I also got a camera stand too, so helps out quite a bit with doing the videos and filming them directly at the TV screens. And I think with that, I gave it a couple tests, but ultimately started using it for games, starting with like I think I had started with like Pac-Man and then a couple sports games like Joe Montana football. Well, actually, forgot the last one. Some of the last videos I did on my phone was football, and that was with John Madden Football '92 on the Genesis. Yeah, and anyway, with the video camera, as I was saying, Frogger on Genesis, the Joe Montana game on Genesis, Medal of Honor Underground for PlayStation. Which the thing with that, I can remember this. I do remember getting a content dispute, and I wound up fighting that, and then I actually won the dispute, and then, yeah, they didn't bother me after that. So I mean, I sporadically did videos, but it wasn't until the summer of 2012 that I started to pick up a bit, and it began with NFL Game Day '97 for PlayStation. That actually got quite a bit of views. And after that, I definitely started getting more and more into YouTube. And it began with Doom, where I played all the levels on Ultraviolence. And this was around the time where you could put in video responses to certain people's channels. That was actually a nice feature. I don't know why they got rid of it. Such a shame, really. YouTube going backwards sometimes. So I did that, and Sonic 1 and 2 on Genesis. Zombies Ain't My Neighbors and ESPN Sunday Night NFL, both of those on Genesis. Maybe Altered Beast, I don't know. Uh, Home Alone on Genesis, Aladdin on Genesis, Home Alone 2 on Super NES, and honestly, I forget the last stuff that I did, but one thing I wanted to do was get monetizing for my YouTube videos, and I got it set up in some way, and then I screwed it up somehow. I honestly forget. It's been over 6 years since I did that, and then it dawned to me a little bit that, you know what? Let's I could just do videos for fun. I don't need to do videos for monetizing. And with that, I got rid of the first channel and created a second one in December 2012. I believe that was like around, I think it was like the day before the supposed end of the world as we know it. That was, yeah, I remember that day. I was just mainly playing Xbox 360, playing some Grand Theft Auto 4. That's what I did that day. So anyway, so first month or two left the channel dormant, and I don't know, I just had it kicking to do some geek videos and started off with Doom on Super NES. Not the greatest process considering the RF for Super NES was horrible, and just, maybe some stiff controls a little there, but managed to get all the episodes done, all their levels. And I'm going to be going through a lot of my videos of games that I've played through. That's what I'm going to be talking about as well. It got into that, and then got into Medal of Honor Underground for the original PlayStation. And with that game, I had a ton of issues with ad rev for a third party, and I'm sure that's the case with a lot of people on YouTube, because it just seems like at that time I was always getting flagged for content, and it was always ad rev for a third party, which was pissing me off because it seemed like every level was getting flagged. And I know the game is done by Michael Giacchino, but it's not a film or anything. It's a video game. Like I know he's probably part of some film union or something or music union, but I could see with movies like The Incredibles and Mission Impossible. But luckily, they disappeared over the last few years of getting rid of those claims, and it was a nightmare. It was stressful. And with Underground, that's where my first big hit video came from, the level Sabotage, which as of now is replaced by another video for number one viewed of mine. So after that, I did a series of videos of Doom for the original PlayStation on the highest difficulty. And definitely, I feel like with that one, I did a lot better than the first time I did it on my first channel. And right around doing those levels for Doom, I started to upload videos of Crash Bandicoot for the original PlayStation. And this will be a little thing that you'll be hearing a little bit of, flip-flopping between certain videos and certain games. And it was like flip-flopping a little bit between Crash and Doom, and then towards the end of 2013, flip-flopping between Crash and like some football games like Madden, Joe Montana football, music for NFL Sports Talk Football 93, and I think like the last bit, like the beginning of Sonic and Knuckles, the Sonic segment, I believe. If not, it was at the very least starting with Joe Montana football, where I was nearly finished with Crash Bandicoot. And I think after Crash, I did some Sonic, but then I got preoccupied with doing Home Alone on Genesis, and then I think I pretty much finished up the year with just doing Home Alone, uploading it at least, and beginning 2014 with trying to get Sonic and Knuckles uploaded, and I think yeah, after in between a little bit was music for NFL Football 94 on Genesis, and a little while later, I think as soon as I started doing the Knuckles videos, I started uploading Siphon Filter, which is one of my. I feel like that was one of the better playthroughs I did, and it was a great game. Definitely some tedious parts at times, especially with some of the stealth missions, especially in like the monastery area or wherever that place is, the underground catacombs, um, and the Expo Center, the first one, at least early on. But doing Siphon Filter and then flip flopping after Sonic and Knuckles, flip flopping between Siphon Filter and Driver. That was that was a tough series of videos to do, Driver, because the game is very random, and doing all the missions and showing them instead of just doing one set of missions. I felt like I needed to show all the missions in the game, because I feel like it's complete that way, and it definitely occupied a bit of my time during the summer. And even though I did some other stuff like some basketball videos, a basketball montage with Sega Genesis NBA games and all that, and even some NBA Jam and its sequel Tournament Edition. So I don't think I really had much going until the fall, and that was when I was doing like it's from September all the way to the end of the year. I think I had like 4 or 5 videos for 4 or 5 series of games going. It started with Pac-Man World, and then it was then like college football's national championship on the Genesis, and games released for Nintendo systems. Chuck Rock on Super NES, and later on I had, and this next one. I actually prepared like a year ahead of time just to get it ready, and it's the only time I've ever really done that, and it was for PlayStation, the very first Medal of Honor, which was, I think one of my proudest video playthroughs, because I feel like I played the game well enough, and I feel like now these days I see more playthroughs of that game, and it just seems like everybody either takes forever or they just don't play it in a way where they try and conserve some of their ammo and all that. It was definitely flip-flopping between it. It's like, with Pac-Man World, it was like flip-flopping early on with like Chuck Rock and then Medal of Honor, and then flip-flopping between those two and the first NES game I put up on there, Tiny Toon Adventures. It was like all the way to the end of the year, and then it became like Medal of Honor as my main video uploading, and I think like then started flip flopping between that and let's see, music for Joe Montana Football on Genesis, and then Super Mario Brothers on NES, which I'll talk about for a second. It's the only time I've done any videos of a game that Nintendo made. And although they got rid of their creators program, I am a little hesitant. Maybe sometime in the future I'll test out a Nintendo game, but I'm a little hesitant on it. And if I don't get in trouble, if I do test out a video of a Nintendo game, I'll probably could start doing more. But until then, I'm not doing any more Nintendo videos. Although someone needs to tell me, because I'm going to ask this question, do some of the Rare games count? Because I think Rare would be okay. I think because they hold the rights to a number of their games that they've made, like Banjo-Kazooie and all that. I would actually love to do a Banjo-Kazooie playthrough, actually. But anyway, getting back to the topic. So yeah, Super Mario Brothers, but Medal of Honor, it gave me my biggest video, which is the cheat codes one, and it's been big for me. It's like over 7,000 views, which is funny because that video uploaded in March of 2015, and it started off like real slow. Then over the last 2 years, it has been getting so many views. Like I think like the past 2 years, it's gotten like 5,000 altogether, which is rather amazing. I think people are just looking for a cheat code video. Oh, I just realized something. I forgot about one other set, two videos in particular from 2014. NASCAR. Forgot about that. And one of my bigger videos is NASCAR 98 paintball on PlayStation. It's growing, much like the Medal of Honor video too. Just people want to see cheats, and honestly, that's something I think a lot of people are desperate to find. They want to find cheat codes to liven up the experience. So yeah, I mean, I'll just have to check that out. But anyway, so after Medal of Honor, I think I did like some videos here and there. I did like Miss Pac-Man on the Genesis. Did a siphon filter fail video, which has been one of my bigger videos. Some music from NHL hockey, and I'm not gonna go too deep. I'm not gonna go deep into this, and probably won't discuss it. But after there were some personal issues going on, so I stopped doing YouTube for a good while. So whatever remaining stuff that I had, I just got rid of. I just uploaded within like a month or two span, and it was Animaniacs on Genesis. And I stopped for a while on YouTube, but in the fall I got a little bit back into it. Doing some Tecmo NBA basketball on NES, and think RBI baseball 93 on Genesis, an easy difficulty playthrough Doom on PlayStation, and some music from NBA Live 95 and Joe Montana Football 2, and then a cheat code video for Medal of Honor Underground, it's not the most viewed, it's like less than 2,000 views, but it is one of the bigger videos that have gotten attention over the last year or so. And after that, I just stopped doing YouTube. It just didn't really have much drive into doing it really. But then 2017 came along, and I did a video around Christmas of GTA 5, just a venting anger video. It doesn't really have any hits, but just playing as all three characters and doing all sorts of crazy stuff set to GTA 3's intro music, which was a lot of fun to do. Anyway, after that, I got really it was more into doing sports games really. It began with Pebble Beach Golf Links on the Saturn, which really got me back into it, and then NHL hockey on the Genesis gameplay of it, and then throughout the summer, early part of the spring and summer, NASCAR 98 on the Saturn, and then doing Pebble Beach again, but on the Genesis. After that, it was Chex Quest, the Chex Quest trilogy, which I actually had a lot of enjoyment out of, and playing it through Z Doom, which is a modernly Doom engine type thing, uh, which it was absolute blast to play, and to play in DOS type audio, along with some music from I think it was NFL Quarterback Club '96. Oh man, I'm trying to think of videos around that time period, but yeah, there was definitely like Home Alone 2 on Super NES around Christmas time. Well, actually, around the time the movie celebrated its 25th anniversary in November 2017. Uh, Doom again on PlayStation, but on Hurt Me Plenty difficulty. And that, I I think it was doing some videos of demo discs that I had, which I'm actually in the process of doing right now as of this recording. So yeah, it's actually nice to see that King of Fighters 95 and Tekken 2 have been, even though it's just a couple hundred views for each one, it's still nice to see that people care about demos. Let's see, music from Primetime NFL and NFL 98. That's what I had. Actually got into some Game Boy games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Fall of the Foot Clan, and Tiger Woods, PGA Tour 2000, and Miss Pac-Man Special Color Edition, even though it was played on Super Game Boy. Got back into Tiny Toon Adventures with Buster Bust Loose on Super NES. Trying to think of it. Frogger on both Super NES and Sega Genesis. My big video set for the summer was Spyro the Dragon, which was really nice to do. And lately, I've been doing videos of more PlayStation demos, Wolfenstein 3D, and Doom. I put up one for Skyroads not too long ago, and that was actually kind of nice to do a video of. I'm pretty proud of my Doom videos so far, and hopefully soon I'll get the contents of episode 2 uploaded, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. I, it is one of my all-time favorite. I should rephrase it. I think it's the greatest video game ever. The first Doom game from '93. And what to expect out of for this channel? Well, as I was just saying, Doom. I do want to continue Wolfenstein. I do want to get more into the Super NES. Maybe see if there's some games I want to do, like say, I was actually thinking about doing Bart's Nightmare, trying at least get to at least a B minus average, because I know the Indiana Bart level is gonna kick my ass so bad. But I think I could do pretty well at some of the other mini games. Definitely do want to get into Saturn. I do want to upload and create videos of like Daytona and Sega Rally. As far as PlayStation, I'm not sure what I want to do. I definitely want to get into Siphon Filter again, do the second game, and maybe some Crash Team Racing and Crash Bandicoot Warped. I mean, I got a lot of choices, but I definitely do want to get some sports titles all around from all the systems. So it's over the past 6 years, I've accumulated a lot more views over time, and it's been a thrilling ride. I mean, I'm over 95,000 views, and it is a total blast to play some of these games and just to have a lot of fun with, which, I hope people enjoy just uploading their content and just understanding why people enjoy some of the content that they provide. And, you know, YouTube is not, YouTube is about older games as much as it is newer games. And although the audience might be dwindling, there's still hope that there's always someone that can be satisfied with showing an old game from, anywhere from NES up to Saturn and 64. And with that, I shall finish up this episode, and this has been episode 10 of Geeks and Jocks. Why I created this podcast and why I created this YouTube channel that you're watching this video on right now, or listening to if ever any time in the future that I will put this on an audio site like iTunes and or Anchor for that matter. Hopefully that comes down to putting that in audio in the future. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope to see you guys in the next podcast and have yourselves a nice day.